very distinctive Honda face. This is the Honda Civic Sport Sedan. LED headlights, daytime running lights, deep front spoiler, fog lights. The Civic Sport we tested a couple of years ago. There was a minor facelift during last year. You can see the nice black mags that really give a good picture on 17-inch mag wheels over there. So a nice line to it. It's low, it's sleek. Very interesting treatment on the doors over here, the flash over here and the angles that come into it, that come into play, just giving you a very low and sleek line to it. It's almost one of the coupe sedan styles, but not quite. But you can see very sharp slope to the C-pillar, an angle at the back towards the boot over here. Now, because it's the sport model, it's got this pretty big mean spoiler on the back over here as well on the boot lid. You open up the boot. According to Honda's figures, 420 litres of boot space, which is pretty big, and you can see nicely shaped, fairly low load lip, all those kind of things over there. And you've got a full-sized spare wheel underneath the boot board. Great feature for a change to have the full-sized spare wheel. You come down over here, you've got this chrome trim across the bottom, you've got rear park beepers over here, and of course again little flash over here, nice interesting treatment. Also the boomerang type shape rear tail lights, LED as well, that cut into the boot lid. Very interesting picture when you're behind this car at night, and it does show up quite interestingly. The Civic sedan, whether it's sport or the exclusive model, both of them are powered by a 4-cylinder 1.5 litre turbo petrol engine, putting out 127 kilowatts, 220 newton meters of torque. So it's got a bit of shunt to it as well. Let's check it out inside. Moving into the back seat, you can see there is really lots and lots of space over here. And this is where the Civic Sport, or the Civic Sedan, let me put it, becomes quite an interesting proposition. Because the Civic Sedan is an interesting car in the sense that it's in a lost little category niche of its own. It's up against two particular competitors, being the Toyota Corolla and the Mazda 3 sedan. And that's possibly why this car is a bit lost in the market. But it is a tiny bit bigger than its two competitors. And look at the space I've got here in the back seat, the legroom, even the headroom, although I said it has got that very raked rear end over there, the very sharp C-pillar. It's still got lots and lots of space in the back seat, that big boot. So it's that little bit bigger than its competitors. But that can count for and against. But you've got the full leather trim, you've got lots of luxury, lots of items, and lots around you that also make quite a big difference. Let's see what the driver feels like. Starting off with the instrumentation on the car, of course, and as I always start on the inside. We've done 435 kilometers on this test. Look at that fuel economy, 6.2 liters per 100. I did my fuel route with the car and got 5.5, and Honda's official figure is 5.9. So I think this is an exceptional figure for this car, considering the power output. And, well, I haven't raced around in it, it's not that kind of car, but I've certainly enjoyed that extra power. You come down to, of course, you've got your cruise control over here on the steering wheel, and here's all your other controls for telephone, for sound system, for infotainment, etc. And you've even got flappy paddles. So you've got those too. All very neat, very effective. You come across to the center touch screen, and it's got everything you want over here, but you do need to go up to the executive model if you want built-in navigation. Otherwise, you've got to use your smartphone connection, which you would press over there. I have done it. I haven't got it linked right now, but you do use Android Auto, which I use normally. And something that's very interesting, I can't show it to you now, but when you go onto Android Auto, when you have an instruction, a turn instruction or a route instruction, it does actually come up on this section of the dash as well, which is something I haven't noticed with any other cars when you're using Android Auto. So nice one there, Honda. I think that's quite impressive. You've got, as I said, your various functions on the touch screen. It's very, very standard. And of course, when I pop it into reverse, you do have your reverse camera. So it's all very standard, very normal, but works very, very nicely. Come down over here, your gearbox. Well, now this is one of the moot points that everybody has comments about and has arguments about. It's a CVT. But as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the better CVTs around. And although they call this a sport, it's not a racing car. Don't expect it to be, and it certainly is very pleasant, very nice to use, very functional. Having said it's not a racing car, I must tell you that because it's a nice low car on those 17-inch wheels, it certainly handles the passes through to Hartbeespoort extremely well and comfortably, and it's a smooth cruiser, this one. Something else, just below the infotainment screen, you do have seat warmers for both front seats there as well. So nice extra feature. Come down next to the gearbox, that's the econ button, so you've got an economy mode over here. I used that for my fuel route test, just to see whether it would help or make any real difference. And, well, it's certainly I got 5.5 on the fuel test, so I would say it did work very well. You've got a brake holder. Don't know whether that's so important, but you've also got your electronic parking brake over here. Then something quite different on this car is, you'll notice when you look down over here, there's a little gap under the center console. And for example, your USB is down there. But if you're using Android Auto, for example, you plug your phone into the USB and you put it over there, and it's nicely hidden away, and that certainly does seem to work very, very well. So overall, the Civic Sport works nicely, but I mentioned the competitors, and I have to mention them again, because the one thing of the Civic Sport is it's priced at $513,900. If you take into account the extra space, the extra size, but very nice quality finishes, this nice quality finish over here, the soft touch over there, it's well put together, you've got full leather, you've got all the trim you would want. At the price, again, I've got to mention the executive model, which is about 35,000 Rand more, does add active braking, active cruise control, and lane departures, the whole safety suite, which this one doesn't have. But the Mazda 3 and the Corolla are a lot cheaper. So this is in a little bit of no man's land, I'd like to term it, price-wise for the car. I'd really like to see the safety suite I just mentioned standard on this car. I think it would make a very big difference, and I think that would raise it up quite a lot. But it's a pleasure to drive. It's a great car to drive. It's certainly reliable. It handles well. It goes well. All those features are very important. Overall, Honda has such a good reputation. That also counts for plenty. It's definitely a left field choice, but it's an interesting one and a pretty comfortable one at that. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.